Good morning, y'all. Are y'all ready for some? Not football. It is the Good Life Radio Show. I am your host, Eileen Carter. I am here on Relationship Tuesday. This week's conversation is unlocking your core. So on Relationship Tuesday, we have Dr. Tammy Wilborn in the studio. There she is. And we are going to be discussing, I found an article about 3 core principles of a healthy relationship. So I'm going to go over what it says, and then we're going to hear what the doctor says. We like to hear her 2 cents and her opinion, and then we're going to break down into the core of your relationship, kind of getting back to that and getting back to the core of you. So we're going to break it down into 3 segments about unlocking your core. That's what the week is about. It's Relationship Tuesday, and we are about to jump in the conversation because Lee just told me I have to. He just gave me the sign on the other side of the glass. So here we go. I am pulling Instagram online now. Oh, wait. And we're about to go. Wait, let's see. All right, now we're about to go. Now we're about to really go. All right, so we're about to start. For Instagram, who's just tuning in, we are here on Relationship Tuesday, the Good Life Radio Show. We're talking about unlocking our core this week. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, tolerance, compassion, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else, right? Hopefully everyone else. We do that right here weekdays at 11 a.m. We are live on Instagram. We are live on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are everywhere you want to be. It is TGL Radio Show. TGL Radio Show. Go online right now at tglradioshow.com. You can get your t-shirts. Our t-shirts are there. You just have to click the TGL gear button. Yes, look, Lee's all excited. Our t-shirts are there. He's going to do it now. I know he's trying to turn down the air. Y'all, he's trying to burn me up in this studio. He's like, once you get on air and you can't move, he's like, I'm going to go change the air. He wrong for that. He wrong for that. But nonetheless, I do love Lee. That's my producer. But changing the core, he's going to heat it up in here. Anyway, back to the show. We are here on Relationship Tuesday. I have Dr. Tammy Wilborn. You're all he's peeking in the side, trying to be funny. We have Dr. Tammy Wilborn in the studio with us. Dr. Wilborn, I have so many people. I actually had someone yesterday who was sending me messages on social media asking how they can get in contact with you and Henry. So please give us your information so they can contact you.
Good morning, everybody. So you can find me in a couple of different ways. You can find me on the web at www.wilbornclinicalservices.com, or you can call me at 504-509-3995. That's 504-509-3995. Or you can email me at info@wilbornclinicalservices.com.
Pick one. Pick one, anyone. She's everywhere you want to be. There's Wilborn Clinical Services, and she's absolutely amazing. If I could have her as my counselor, I would, but she told me I can't because I'm her friend. So I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. No. But it's okay. I kind of get it. I kind of get it, secondhand through the show. So I kind of get the best of both worlds. So I absolutely love her. She's an amazing she does amazing things, and if you need her services, please reach out because that is the good life. Now, if you want to follow us on all of our social media platforms, that is at tglradioshow.com. If you would like us to have our show at your event, if you would like us to have our show at your establishment, you have a business, you have a restaurant, we come on right before lunchtime, we always like to taste food, y'all. I don't mind tasting a cool appetizer or whatever it is. Whatever you're famous for, we would love to taste it. And if you would like to host us, you can go online as well, tglradioshow.com. We have our rates and packages right there. But if you want to create something, send us an email, Eileen, EILEEN, at tglradioshow.com. That is Eileen at tglradioshow.com. Give us a call, 504-400-7127, 504-400-7127. Why? Because it's a good life. Now we're going to jump into the conversation today because y'all know I take a theme and we like spread it out over the whole week. So this week's theme is unlocking your core. Unlocking your core. So on Monday, I broke down how we're going to unlock it in different aspects. But today is Relationship Tuesday. So this is a whole different dynamic. Some people say this is their favorite show. I wonder why. Because we're all in relationships. We all have some type of issue at some point in time. It's like the relationship never goes away. It's always a work in progress. Sometimes you lose your core. Sometimes you're more in touch with your core. Sometimes you can't even find it. It's under all the the burdens of life per se. But I have Dr. Wilborn in the studio, and I think Henry's going to be coming in a little bit later. But I wanted to kind of break it down into 3 segments this morning because I really wanted to kind of delve into these issues. So the first segment is going to be, I found this article on the 3 core principles of a healthy relationship. So this is what they say. I'm going to kind of break it down, but obviously we want to know what you say because you are our guide. We listen to you each and every Tuesday right here on WBOK and the Good Life Radio Show. So we want to know what you have to say. And then the second segment will be about our relationships, the core of our relationships. Have y'all ever been in a relationship and you were like, oh, I miss that person they used to be, or you thought that oh, if we could just get back to where we were, the core of our relationship, if we could just, hold on to that moment when we felt like, you had a connection, you were meeting each other at the core. I know y'all nodding your heads out there because, we've all been in that situation. Now, is that the core of who they really were, or were you trying to get back to, or can you get back to something that once I don't know, we're going to ask her in the second segment. And last but not least, we're going to talk about getting back to the core of who we are, unlocking ourselves. And how do we do that? How do we live our authentic selves? Because if you can't live your authentic self, going back to the relationship, how can you be in a relationship going back to having a healthy relationship? So, of course, all of that merges together. So we're going to jump in real quick, and I'm going to ask her about the 3 core principles of healthy relationship. And I found this on nicknotice.com. So we'll see. The first one was freedom and acceptance. And I think I've heard you talk about this one. So I think, look, you're nodding your head over there. Look, I'm trying to get you in the picture. So, yeah, we're live on Instagram and Facebook. I need her in the picture. She sometimes hides behind the mic, but she's too beautiful to do that. So freedom and acceptance. They say that means that both partners should be able to relax without worrying that the other will judge them for their thoughts or actions. You should never need to hide part of yourself to be accepted by your partner. They say, of course, it doesn't mean that your partner has to approve of everything that you do. If you're making a bad decision, they should tell you. They should let you know. Even when you disagree, you should still respect each other's opinions. If your partner belittles you or your beliefs or doesn't treat you like an equal, then that is the serious sign of an unhealthy relationship. So what about freedom and acceptance as a core value for a relationship? What are your thoughts, Dr. Wilborn?
Yes, I think that that's definitely a value that is, those 2 ideas are foundational values in a relationship. I think, a lot of times, and I know we'll get to this in a minute, oftentimes when we show up into relationships, we show up as this representative of ourselves, not, this mask of ourselves,
right.
This ideal person that we want to be, or this, this ideal that we want the other person to be.
Right.
And so oftentimes we're not connecting in really genuine and authentic ways. And so as the relationship evolves over time, the real self kind of emerges, and the other person's like, well, who's this person?
Who's that? I never met them
before. And so you have all of this conflict versus someone who is showing up and saying at the outset, knowing I am enough. Right?
That's one of our sayings here. It's been my mantra ever since you said it. I was like, I like that. I'm going to stick with it.
For you to be able to show up in that way and say I am enough, and the other person to show up and say I am enough, I have my faults, I have my strengths, and at the same time, I'm still good, I'm enough with all of that, allows, I think, more acceptance when you're when you're genuine and you are acknowledging that I'm not perfect.
Right.
I'm good as I am, flawed as I am. Yeah.
And I think it's really one of those things that we have to kind of remind ourselves every now and then. Because I'm reading here and it said you should never need to hide part of yourself to be accepted by your partner. How many of us may be walking on eggshells? And I don't mean like, you overspent, or you went over the budget, or you got some concert tickets or whatever. I mean like an authentic part of who you are. This is who I am. And you're hiding that from your partner because you're like, I don't know if they'll accept me if I show them who I am.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of times those things that we hide from our partners or even try to hide from other people are things that we're ashamed about. You know, those are the things that bring us shame, that when we look in the mirror, we're like, oh, I don't like that person, or I don't like that thing that I've done. But if you can be honest about that and really invite that person to have a conversation. I'll share this really quick. I can remember right before I got married, my husband and I did premarital counseling, and so one of the assignments that he and I had to do is we had to spend a weekend sharing those things about ourselves that maybe nobody else knew, or that we were ashamed of or embarrassed for, or embarrassed about. And so both of us did that, and we were kind of like, that's what you were worried about?
Right.
That's
really?
That's the thing that you were concerned about. But from there, I think it set the stage for that freedom and acceptance, because it was like once he and I were able to disclose those things that had kept us ashamed in other relationships, we were able to be free in our relationship and really be able to accept each other as we are.
That's an amazing story. You know what? I'd like to throw that out there for couples. Take this weekend coming up and share those things.
Yeah.
Share those things. Drop the bags. Let it go, and then have that full acceptance. Imagine how that feels in a relationship, knowing that you're fully accepted by the other person, and like nobody else can tell you anything because they got me.
Exactly.
That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, isn't that whatever? I'm like, isn't that what we all want?
I think
kind
so.
I think so. Number 2, I'm going to jump into these. Meaningful lives outside the relationship. They said it's very important. Look, you're nodding your head, so obviously you're in support of these. One of the core foundations for a relationship is making sure that you have a meaningful life outside of the relationship. They said in a healthy relationship, both parties have fulfilling lives outside of their own relationship and maintain close friendships with other people other than their partner. They support each other to pursue those important parts of life that are outside of the relationship.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I mean, oftentimes when people talk about relationships, especially when they're talking about marriages, they talk about two people coming together as one. And in a lot of ways, that's true. There is a sense of unity in decision making and goals and so on and so forth. But what that doesn't mean is that you lose yourself in that relationship. The things that you value.
You lose your core.
You lose your core.
Right.
You lose your values. You lose your sense of those things that bring you joy. So it's very important for you to not only have a unifying body in a relationship, but also to know who you are outside of that. Who are you? What are the things that you dream about? What are the things that you value separate and apart from your partner? It's okay. It's okay to have a life.
How many of us forget those things when we are
easily
in relationships? I'm just saying, maybe this is that wake-up call to remind you to start taking care of yourself, because if you don't, you're going to start to kind of, I'm trying to find a good word for it. You're gonna, I don't want to say not regretful, but resent your partner.
Yeah, I mean, you look around,
and they may not even know it. Okay. And last but not least, the third one for one of the core for having a meaningful relationship was shared selflessness. Both partners should make it their goal for one another to be happy and fulfilled, not to have their partner make them happy and fulfilled. Wait, I'm going to repeat that. Both partners should make it their goal for one another to be happy and fulfilled as they are, as one person, not to have their partner make them happy and fulfilled. And they said this is one of the most important points, that they are happy and fulfilled as they are themselves.
The individual.
Yes.
Absolutely, because a lot of times you'll see people that say, I need someone to make me happy, right? Without realizing that the core of happiness resides within you.
Yes.
And so when that person leaves, or when that person is not performing happiness for you, then oftentimes discontent sets in, resentment, frustration, guilt, because you're looking for something in someone else that you should be able to do for yourself first. And so when you're able to do that, the relationship can be more fair love, that I love freedom and that whole notion of acceptance, because you have to be able to bring that to the relationship. Looking for that in somebody else leads to dependency.
And if you're looking for it in someone else, do you have you seen this, where they take it out on that person?
When the other person isn't making them happy?
Right.
Yes. I see that. I see resentment. Like I said, I see frustration. Because a lot of times, again, and here's the thing: a lot of us are taught that happiness is external to us, and so.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're taught that, I need some
ice cream gonna make me feel better.
Make me feel better, it's gonna make me happy, without realizing that you need to be able to have that for yourself.
Right. If I have a family, I'm gonna feel better. If I have a child, I'm gonna feel better.
Yeah.
If I, go finish and get this degree, I'm gonna feel better. And you get it and you're like, I don't feel better.
Yeah.
Put all these years in it, I don't feel better.
Exactly. It keeps you kind of on the hamster wheel of happiness, right? You're constantly chasing happiness.
About to say that. You're always chasing something.
Yeah, without realizing that
it's inside of you.
You have it inside of you. Yeah.
Wow. Well, this is The Good Life, y'all. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we are discussing unlocking your core. We have Dr. Tammy Wilborn in the studio with us. She is here every Tuesday. Make sure you tune in. You can follow her. How can they follow you?
Everywhere. Right?
Everywhere you want to be.
Facebook, Wilborn Clinical Services. I'm online, wilbornclinicalservices.com. You can call me, 504-509-3995.
We are going to take a quick break. I am your host, Eileen, but we are unlocking our core this week. And on Relationship Tuesday, we were getting into some fundamental core values of a relationship. But when we get back, we're going to talk about the core of your specific relationship. Sometimes you're like, I think after the honeymoon phase, you're like, oh, why can't we get back to the core of things? Why can't we get back to, who you thought they were? Or is that who they were? Is it not who they were? Are you really finding out who the real core of them is at this point in time? We shall see. We have the doctor in the studio with us. She's going to break it down, and we are going to open our minds. Stay tuned. It's Eileen. We'll be right back.